Thank you so much for visiting my channel where all things are done for the glory of Jehovah God. All right, so I want to ask you a question. Am I the only one who notices it, or do you notice it too? That a lot of YouTube influencers have been posting prophecies about marriage in this season. Now, I know that for some of my single sisters, you're probably watching these videos and you're thinking, oh Lord, please let it be me. And while that is totally understanding, I do encourage you to test the spirit, okay? Because it is important for you to test the spirit to see if this is a word that God has in store for you in this season. Because it can be frustrating or daunting if you realize that you're believing and you're praying and it's that God is not working, He's not coming through for you. So it's important to test the spirit and know if this is what God wants to say to you in this season. All right. Another thing that also prompted me to do this video is the other day I was watching a video on YouTube, yes, and she was talking about her experience, how God had blessed her with a mate, as well as, just sharing some challenges that she had while she was single. And someone commented on the video, and basically that person was saying that, I really wish that you would have commented and shared this information when you were single. So after seeing that post and talking with a couple of my single sisters, I decided that I would do this video and address some concerns that I think other single sisters have. So the first thing that I would like to talk to you about in this video is the belief, the myth, the misconception, yes, that we all have that being in a relationship with someone will stop you from being lonely. Okay, that is a lie. That is a lie from the pits of hell, especially if you already have a challenge with chronic loneliness. Okay, ladies, so this is something that only God can fill this void, because usually your loneliness is channeled from something that you feel as if you're missing inside. Let me ask you this. Have you ever been at home or around family that you love, that you enjoy being around, and you know they love you and they have you 100%, but you still feel alone? Or even around your friends and everyone is kind of having a good time, and by all means, you appear to be having a good time as well, but something inside of you just feels so empty and alone, right? And it's the same when you are married to someone, that is not going to change, right? Unless you address the root of the problem. Another misconception that a lot of persons have is that being in a relationship will make you happy, that you will suddenly start to enjoy your life. Okay, and that too is a lie, because genuine and true happiness comes from within. That is something that you have to cultivate for yourself. So to depend on someone else to make you happy is really unreasonable, and it's unfair to that person, right? That's too much of a burden and a pressure that you're bringing onto this person, and a pressure and expectation for your relationship. A lot of times we say that we want something, and if we could get this, oh my gosh, it would make me so happy. And then you get it, and then okay, you may be happy for a while, but afterwards there's something else that you need to make you happy. So it is the same with your spouse. At the onset, yes, you're going to be happy because yes, this is something that you've always wanted. But then when things get comfortable, or then when you start learning more about this person, things that you didn't know, then you're going to be like, wow, it's just going to blow you away. So it's really important for you to use this time to really allow God to heal your wounds, to really cultivate this inner happiness, because that is where true happiness comes from, within. Okay, another thing that I'd also like to encourage you to do in this season is to get to know yourself. Yes, get to know yourself. This is extremely important, because in this season, a lot of times we don't want to be by ourselves, and if you don't want to be in your own company, then who is going to want to be with you? Right? Use this time to ask yourself those hard questions, those questions that really, really get you to the core. Allow yourself to ask those questions, right? So that you can learn more about yourself. What is it that you like? What is it that you don't like? A lot of past relationship experience will also help you to answer these questions if you really evaluate them. right? What is it that you like? What is it that you're willing to accept? What is it that you will not accept? What are your deal breakers? Where do you see your life going? Where would you like to be in another 3 years? Where would you like to see yourself in 5 years? It's really important for you to have these goals, these plans, and know what it is that you are about so that you can know what type of mate it is that you would like to attract for yourself. Another point that I would also like to talk about is use this time to recognize your insecurities, acknowledge them, and work through them. For some persons, this may be abandonment issues. As a child growing up, maybe a parent abandoned you, or you experienced a parent walking out of the home. And so you've struggled with abandonment issues. And so when you go in a relationship, you either suffocate your partner with attention because you're trying so hard to hold on to this person to ensure that they don't leave, and then you have jealousy issues, right, that is associated with that because you want to ensure that you're keeping this person tightly to yourself so that they can't escape. And this can create a burden in your relationship and cause that relationship to fail. For other persons, to prevent this hurt from repeating itself, they have built the wall of China around their hearts. And it's so hard for anyone to really chisel through this wall. And this can make or break your marriage. So it's important for you to acknowledge these issues and work through them. Another issue that we may have is from past relationships. Okay, someone may have hurt you and that has affected your ability to trust, right? For other persons, it may be words that have been spoken, right? And these words have created beliefs that are not so good about yourself, but you have accepted them and you have believed them over the years and you have allowed them to hurt you and continuously bring you down. So it's really important for you to acknowledge these beliefs. What are these beliefs that you are allowing yourself to accept about you and work through it? Right? Because if you're going to accept someone to expect your partner to validate you, then you may be rudely surprised when you get to that marriage and this person is not able to do that. Right? If you expect to be validated and affirmed solely by someone else, then you will believe whatever this person convinces you about yourself. So it's really important for you to identify and establish your own identity and allow that to fuel your growth, right? So don't be afraid of addressing your insecurities. We all have them. I have them. You have them. Everyone has insecurities from experiences that we have had in the past. And it's really important for us to use this season of singleness to address those insecurities. If it is that you're praying about it and it doesn't seem to be really working out the way that you hope that it would, then seek professional help. That is why God has given persons the gift of encouragement, right? So that they can encourage and empower you and help you through these challenging times. Seek a godly counselor or a godly life coach, right? To help you to work through these challenges as you seek and you desire to overcome. All right. Another thing that I would also like to talk about is use this time to forgive. A lot of times we're holding on to hurts and pain, right? And we'll convince ourselves that we have forgiven and really we have not. Even in this week, God worked in me and showed me a situation that I thought I had forgiven and that I thought that I had released this person, but really and truly I did not. And so I was seeing messages on YouTube, I was seeing videos, and I clicked on and it would be talking about forgiveness. And I'm like, oh no, this is not about me because there's no one that I am struggling to forgive. I have forgiven everyone, right? And then on the third day of seeing these messages, a friend of mine, she invited me to this prayer meeting. And as soon as I logged into the meeting, the person they were sharing about forgiveness. No, I didn't share this with anyone. And instantly, as I heard this person sharing about how she struggled to forgive someone who had hurt her and how hard it was for her to forgive, this particular person's name popped into my head. And there and then I realized that God was calling me to forgive this person. Because as much as I thought I had forgiven, I really had not forgiven this person. And so I remembered even earlier that day that when I woke up, something about this person just popped in my head. It was so strange. And it brought a sense of uneasiness, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna go back into that. I've forgiven, I've let go, and I'm just leaving it alone. You know, but God wanted me to see myself that as much as I thought that I had forgiven and I had let go, I did not. So I would also encourage you, my brothers and my sisters who are watching this video, to use this time, this season of singleness, to forgive the persons who have hurt you. It can be from a relationship, it could be a family member, it could be a friend, whoever it is. It is extremely important for us to forgive, because when you are praying, the Bible tells you that if we have iniquity hidden in our heart, that God will not hear from us. Right, in Matthew chapter 6, it tells you that if you go to the altar to offer a sacrifice and there you realize that you have something against your brother in your heart, that you should leave your sacrifice at the altar, go and seek forgiveness and forgive, and then come back and offer your sacrifice. That is how important forgiveness is for us children of God in the body of Christ. And it's important for you to cultivate this during your season of singleness, because when you get married, words will be spoken and things will be done that will cause you hurt. But forgiveness is going to be the vehicle that will drive and help you to work through these challenges that will come your way. Also, my next point is using this time and allowing God to reveal His will for your life, to reveal what it is that He wants you to do, and allow yourself to focus on these things. Right? A lot of times we read the Bible and there are some very beautiful stories about women that God used and how He showed Himself in their lives. When we read about Ruth, it's so inspiring that she just went to this field and there was Boaz. But what was the background about Ruth's story? Ruth was a woman who had her priorities set right. Ruth realized that she needed food as well as her mother-in-law needed food. And she decided to go out in the strange land to get that which would bring her food, to get a job gleaning these fields. Okay? And so, in the same way, it is important for us as women of God to be seeking God and allowing Him to reveal to us what it is that He wants us to do and showing us how to go about it, and thereby focusing. Right? When you look in Genesis chapter 24, where it talks about when Abraham sent his servant to go and find a wife for Isaac, right? When the servant arrived in the city and he sat at the well, he prayed a prayer and he said, God, let the woman who offers me water to drink and also offers my camels water as well, let her be the woman that you have chosen. When she came to the well and saw this man, because she was in the place where God wanted her to be, she saw this man and offered him water and the camels. She was being an answer to a prayer that she did not even know that was prayed. And so, as women of God, it is important for us to also seek God so that He can put us in the places, because while you are praying and asking for specific things in your mate is also praying to God and asking Him for specific things in you as well. And so it is extremely important that you will use this season and allow God to cultivate that which He knows will be beneficial to your mate and your marriage in your life. When we look in Solomon, Songs of Songs, chapter 1, I think it's verse 5 and 6, when Solomon meets with his bride and she's saying to him, do not mind the fact that my skin is a bit tanned and I'm not as fair as the other maidens, but it is because I was in the field in the sun tending to my brother's flocks. So these are all women who were actively stewarding over that which God had given them to steward in this season. And an important thing to also recognize is that while they were stewarding, what they were doing, it was not just about them, but it was also about being a blessing to someone else. Because in your purpose is a blessing for you to bless another person. So it's really important that you use this time to get closer to God, establish a relationship with God, and allow God to reveal to you that which He desires to be revealed in your life, that which He desires to come forth, so that He can get the glory and that you will have the skills and the qualities that He requires for you to have for your future mate. Another lie that I would like to dismiss is the tendency, especially when you're so desperate and wanting to meet with someone, you will just settle. right? And while, yes, no one is perfect, but as a woman of God, once you have taken the time to know who you are and what you want, then it will help you to know what to look for in a partner. And sometimes you'll meet someone and they don't have those qualities, especially the most important ones, and you're willing to settle, and then because you see so much potential in this person and you fall in love with potential and not focus on what is in front of your eyes, and you invest so much in a relationship, and then when it doesn't work out as you would have expected, you're the one who goes away with your wounds because you're hurting, and that's more baggage added to your baggage for you to work through. But I want to encourage you today that when you see that things aren't what it is that you know as a woman of God you deserve, respect yourself enough to walk away. Don't fall for potential. Don't allow yourself to stick around just hoping and praying that this person will become the person that you want them to be. But respect yourself enough and walk away from that which does not suit you. And there's some easy ways to finding this out. You know, this person, they will talk a good talk, but what does their actions tell you? Are their actions in line with their words? What is it that this person wants out of their life? Are their goals the same as your goals? Are you guys going in the same direction? Or is this person going left and you're going right, and you're trying to pull them to come onto your path, or to convince them to come where you want them to go? Right? What's this imbalance looking like? What is the type of company that this person hangs around with? It's important for you to pay attention to this. How is it that this person talks about their family and friends? This shows you what is inside of this person's heart. It's important for you to pay attention to these things. Another thing that I would also like to talk about is work on cultivating the fruits of the Spirit, fruits of love, fruits of peace, fruits of patience, fruits of joy, fruits of hope, right? As a woman of God, it is important for you to cultivate these fruits, because when you are married, right, you will have challenges. And how you're going to get through these challenges is these very same fruits that you have hidden in your heart and allow them to be activated in your life to uh, work your way through the challenges that will come your way as a couple. When you read the scriptures in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, when it tells you that love is patient, love is kind, right, that it does not keep record of wrongs, that it forgives all things, hopes all things, those all things are going to be some pretty tough stuff that you will need to work through, and it's the fruits of the Spirit that is going to help you to work through these things and being forgiven. Right? So it's important for you to cultivate these fruits in your life. And you're going to do this by spending more time with God and allowing Him to lead you, allowing Him to tear down and break down the muck and the mess that is inside your heart that does not belong there, so that He can replace it with His love, with His joy, right? With patience, with long suffering, right? With hope and skills and qualities that will honor Him. Okay, ladies, I would also like to talk about the notion of being equally yoked with your partner. So while we know about being equally yoked in terms of our belief in the faith, it is also equally yoked in terms of your goals, your values. So if you are married to someone or courting someone who is from another culture, it is important that these beliefs are in alignment. Because if your spouse believes that a woman should just stay at home and take care of the family and not do more, and you believe that you have a calling on your life to be in ministry, you have a business that you are going to start, right? You have a profession, there are certain career goals that you have set for yourself, and it's important that you accomplish these things. Now, while you're courting or dating, it is fun, it makes for a great debate to talk about it, but when you get married, that's when it's going to get real, okay? Because this man, he's now priest, prophet, provider in your home, and he is going to expect that his wife is going to respect him and honor him by doing these things that he holds dearly to his heart. So before the I do's, it's important for you to either work through a consensus or pray about it and make a decision, because these things are going to be real issues that will affect you when you say I do. So it's important, ladies, that you take this time out. Another thing is ask the hard questions. So if you're single and not courting, this is a great time to know who you are, what you are about, so that and what are the things that you value, so that when you meet your partner, you know these important things that you want to identify and be open and willing to ask these questions. If you're courting, this is a great time for you to ask those questions, those things that are pressing and burning on your heart, and you want to know. Ask them. Don't be afraid. I've spoken to persons who, in courting, they want to do it the godly way and they didn't ask certain questions. And after I do, when they asked those questions, they were disappointed with the answers. So it's very important. If this is something that is really important for you, it is important that you take the time out to ask these questions. Another thing, in Proverbs 4:23, the Bible tells us to guard your heart above all else, for out of it flows the issues of life. Okay, so if all you think about is marriage and you're idolizing marriage, then you're giving the enemy room to attack you. Because just as much as you're praying to God and you're asking Him to reveal your spouse and to show you, the enemies are listening on those prayers, and he is setting up the perfect counterfeit. Because the enemy is not after your material possessions, he's after your soul. He's not after you being married if it's not gonna get your soul. So if he can hook you up with the wrong person, send you the perfect wolf in sheep's clothing and hook you up with this person and distract you long enough to lose your faith and lose your way in God, he will do it. So I urge you to really surrender this desire to God and allow Him to work His way through. Surrender yourself to His leading, His promptings. Another thing I would like to encourage you to do is pray, right? Pray about it. Commit your partners to God and allow Him to reveal His will, His purpose, and His plan for this person. Because I've done this and I'm telling you, it works. Right? God is going to reveal those things to you, and it will save you a lot of heartache. It will save you a lot of hurt, because sometimes we hook up with the wrong people and we accumulate so much hurt and pain, and then you go around hurting other people without even realizing, and the cycle of hurt continues. Because guess what? Hurt people hurt people. So really take this time out to just sit before God and allow Him to perfect that which He wants to perfect in you. I know this video has been a bit long, but I thank you so much for watching this video. I pray that this message will be a blessing to you and that it will really help you, right, as we seek to glorify Jehovah God in our lives. So I thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe so that you'll get notifications whenever I post a video. I also have another video coming up about tips to recognize your balls. So if you want to get that video when I post it, remember to like and subscribe so you'll get notifications, and also share this message with your single sisters who also have questions. And I pray that you will all be blessed. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and I will see you.